Hi everybody, this is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Today we're talking about that delicious little fruit, cherries, and how to select and store your cherries when you get them home, and how to prepare them when you're ready to eat them. Now there are a lot of different varieties of cherries out there, but we're going to focus on the main ones that we might see in a grocery store near us, and that would include the dark sweet red cherries and the Rainier cherries. Regarding the dark sweet red cherries, we want to look for those that have a deep dark red color when we're looking for the sweet dark red cherries. It may or may not have the stem attached. If the stem is still attached, you want to look for stems that are a nice green, fresh, bright green color. If they are a dark color like a brown or blackish color, that's going to indicate an older cherry. If the color is bright and green, you know that that cherry is freshly picked. Now, what if there is no stem on the cherry? You can't tell by that. It's not going to indicate that it's fresh or old. It's really going to be immaterial. So the stem is actually a helpful indication of it being fresh or not. Cherries should be firm, shiny, and plump without any bruises or cuts. If you see sweet red cherries that are wrinkled, they're older and they're not going to be at their peak of flavor. Obviously, if you see any mold on them, please, you want to discard those because those are not going to be your best choice. Now, regarding the Rainier cherries, these cherries are more of a reddish yellow color, so don't expect them to be the same dark red color that you'll find of the other types of cherries. They're less firm than the red cherries, but that red or pink blush that's on them indicates sun exposure, which is good. And that indicates sugar accumulation and hence sweetness. So if they're a little more on the red side, that's a good thing. It means they're a little bit sweeter. They may or may not have brown specks on the outside of them, and that's not a sign of age. It's actually an indication of sugar accumulation. It's not a disease. It's not age. It means that they're sweet, actually. When you get your cherries home, you want to keep them cold and in the refrigerator. This is very, very important for helping to keep them fresh. If they were not refrigerated at the grocery store, you want to get them into the refrigerator as soon as possible. Do not wash them before storing them in the refrigerator, because if you do, that excess moisture that's on there is going to promote mold to form and is going to cause them to spoil. Store them unwashed, wrapped either in a plastic bag or a container to keep them from drying out. Some resources suggest that cherries should be stored in a paper bag in the refrigerator. Whichever way you choose, that's fine. It is helpful to wrap them up in some paper towels within their container, because if they should release any moisture along the way, the paper towels can help to absorb that moisture, creating a humid environment but not wet. If they have moisture on them, wetness, it will invite mold, and you don't want that. Kept in the refrigerator in this way, they should keep for you for up to a week. Depends upon how old they are to start with. If you wanted to freeze cherries, you have an abundance of them, they can be frozen. In that case, you definitely want to give them a wash first, pat them dry, remove the stems. If you can remove the pits, you'll appreciate that much more later on than if you did not remove the pits. And then spread them in a single layer on a baking sheet and stick them in the freezer. Freeze them until they're firm, and then transfer them to an airtight bag or container and return them back to the freezer. You want to make sure you use them within 12 months or 1 year for the best quality. Now, how do you prepare fresh cherries? Man, it's just about as easy as it can be. All you do is simply rinse them off with some cold water just before using them. If you want to remove the stems, fine. If you can remove the pits, if you want to do that based on your use for them, remove the pits. Otherwise, just give them a good wash. and then pick them up by the stem and put them in your mouth and spit out the seed and you're good to go. I do hope this helps you out. Bye for now.